there, how are you? My name is Alexa Kagan and I am the social media wizard here at WebRocketMedia. And today I'm going to be talking about social media strategies. Now, when you first come on and you have a new client, you want to explain everything that you're going to be doing in super great detail when it comes to social media, as it's a very powerful platform for advertising and receiving conversion. So I'm going to go ahead and put on a PowerPoint slide on my screen, share my screen so we can go into deeper detail as to what I think some main core parts are. I'm sure people have a social media strategy that they really abide by, but it's nice to see what should also be in there if you don't have it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And just head over to present. There we go. Okay, so let's start off with the first one. What is a social media strategy? For those who are kind of new to the whole space, let's just start from the beginning. So a social media strategy is a detailed summary of everything you plan to put into place and hope to achieve on social media for your client. I'm going to be breaking this down into 5 core parts that I really like to cover within my strategy. I do add some other parts that I'm not going to put in here. This is what I think the main ones are. So just starting from the first one, goals. Second one would be execution. Third is ad strategy. Fourth is competitive analysis. And then the very last one is our action plan. What are we going to be doing moving forward after everything I just talked about in all these slides? So let's start off with the first one, which I mentioned was goals. There we go. So think to yourself, what is the company's business objective and how can I help support the objective over social media? From here, you have to show how you'll determine if this objective is met. So I like to add in what metrics I'll be using to determine the end goal. I like to use a chart, which I added below, so you have a better understanding of what I'm kind of talking about. And it's nice to kind of break this down to really help people understand who are new to this, don't really understand what's going on. You kind of want to break this down into the simplest terms, and it's nice when stuff is visually appealing. So the first one, you add the business objective, and then the social media goal, which here is awareness, and then how am I going to determine if awareness was met? So of course, through followers, shares, likes, etc., that builds brand awareness right there. So let's move on to the second point, execution. Here is where you'll be getting into some deep detail as to what tactics you will be using to push out content and gain traction to your clients' profiles. I like to break the execution process down into different sections so that I can really explain my method for each tactic. Some points I like to hit upon, which you can totally add to or kind of learn from this, is example of hashtags. So let's say they're a vet. I just like to kind of throw in a couple of hashtags, maybe 10 to 20 of what I'll be adding to their social media profiles to gain more awareness. I like to add hashtags because it's nice for the client to see where my mind is and where I see this going. And so if they don't see it going in the direction that I do, it's nice that they can call it out. Or if they're able to see this and they're like, yep, that's totally correct. It's nice to kind of have that topic in there of conversation as to, are you going on the right path? Demographics, so who are we going to be hitting, age, where they live, geo-targeting comes into place there, if they just live in New York or California. I like to add that as well. And then that also gives them another opportunity of, hey, yeah, we are targeting people in New York, but we're also going to start targeting people in California. So that's something to look out for. So also it's nice to, again, start these conversations if you have a strategy in your mind somewhere and they can kind of add to it. The groups I'll be joining on Facebook. Now, this is super impactful, and Facebook's been really pushing out groups these days, and I've been seeing so much traction from posting in groups for clients. It's something that should be in, I think, every social media strategy moving forward as to how popular groups have become. Just these small little knit communities of you have your target audience kind of right in the palm of your hand in these groups. Example I'm going to go off of with the vet before. There's so many different vet groups on Facebook. I love animals or vet techs. So if you have a client that's a vet, you can easily join these groups and start posting about the vet services within these groups. And it's just kind of fantastic because we have thousands of people who are interested in vet services, just kind of sitting there waiting for people to post and have chitter chatter conversations. And I like to add in what groups I'm going to join and how many members are in each group so that my client has an understanding of, wow, look at all these people I could start targeting who are exactly who I need. And then the last one is analytics I'll be tracking. We send out weekly reports, so it's nice for clients to know, how many impressions are we getting? How many followers have we had this week? Just so they have an understanding of the platforms and what's been going on, if we're up or down, or maybe we need to change content around, and just what everything kind of means at the end of the day. So moving on to ad strategy. No social media strategy is complete without an effective ad strategy. Launching ads on social media platforms is a great way to reach your target audience at a massive level. By implementing ads, you will see a change in traffic received on your social media handles as well as your company's website. So when I create the social media strategy, I like to touch upon 3 core parts. First one being creative, what it's going to look like. Usually it involves a graphic with a call to action of learn more. Perhaps if it's a specific company, it could be sign up. So I like to add in those little details of, this is going to be a learn more, sign up, or is this going to be a video ad or just a graphic ad? Again, so they understand where I'm going and where my mindset is within this strategy. Budget, hey, this is how much I think we need to spend to reach our goal. And then A/B testing. I think that when you first walk into a client, it's really great to do A/B testing because you don't know too much about the audience. And even if you do, I think doing A/B testing sometimes is necessary to see, is video content, again, working more than graphic, or should we have less text and see if we just need more image? So to do testing is never a bad thing. It's always super helpful. You don't need to spend too much money on it. So that's just something I like to throw in there. Competitive analysis. A competitive analysis is always nice to implement into a strategy, as it's necessary for the social media team to have an understanding as to how the competitor social media platforms perform, as well as what type of content they are pushing out. And I like to break this down into 3 sections, that being, who are the competitors, to what handles do they have, Facebook, Twitter, Yelp. And I like to break this down into an Excel chart like you saw previously in the goals section. I take the competitors, I put my client at the bottom so they can see kind of how they rack up against their competitors. So perhaps your client has Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, but they don't have LinkedIn and Yelp, yet all their competitors have a LinkedIn and Yelp. So you can kind of show them, hey, this is what your competitors have. You don't have it. Let's implement it. Again, charts always really visually appealing. So using a chart's really nice there. And then what are the average number of likes and followers? I actually manually go in to these social media accounts and see how many followers do they have? What are their average number of likes? And I also put that in a chart. It's time consuming, but it's necessary. So they can see, hey, I only have 1,000 followers, but I shouldn't feel that bad because this competitor only has 50, or, maybe we really need to rank up our social media because this person has 50,000 followers with an average of 200 likes. So again, it's nice to see that and have a good understanding of what's going on. Lastly is the action plan. Well, that was a lot of information. Now it's time to break down all that you previously discussed in your prior slides down into simpler terms as to what you'll be implementing moving forward. I personally like to keep this topic in a bulleted list format so that it is clear as to what will be happening moving forward. So for example, we're going to be implementing 3 ads for $400 over the next 4 months, posting at high traffic times to receive maximum exposure, and creating analytic reports to determine what content is receiving the most noise. So essentially, this slide is just kind of bulleting down 1, 2, 3. Hey, this is what we're doing in the simplest terms moving forward, for a really quick understanding of what is going to happen. So like I said, that was a lot of information for someone who's not really in the social media marketing world. I think this action plan is super necessary because it just kind of sums up all the really good bones that you put into place and just kind of creates a nice frame. And that's really it. That is everything. So thank you so much for joining me. I was really happy to be able to talk about my social media strategy and I hope someone took away something from it or learned something or can add something I talked about to their social media strategy. So yeah, thanks to everyone and have a great day.